Okay, so welcome to the WUGuru Open Project demo. The goal of the project was to create a central platform for students to learn about Duke dining, as well as sharing any of their thoughts. This is the homepage. It has 5 tiles that lead to the different sections of our project, as well as a login button with all the user functionalities. I'd also like to point out that we have some tabs that are always accessible throughout the website for easy navigation. The flow of the video will first cover things that you can do while you're a guest, and then we'll cover some login features, and then we'll cover some things that you're able to do as a registered user. The complete video outline is in the readme.txt.
Hello, this is Jeffrey. I'm here to demo accessing the restaurants page as a guest user. So as you can see, there's 2 ways to access the restaurants page, either this top tab here or this middle button from our home page. So just to show that. So this is the main page of restaurants. It hasn't changed much from last time. I just added the comments, which is on floor 3 of Woo, and the same sort filters as usual. But this time I have added a bonus feature, which is a home page for each restaurant. So if you click on, I say here, if you click on the name of each restaurant, it brings you to the home page with the small short description, and then I pull the user's date time to see if the restaurant is currently open or not. So currently cafe and most Woo restaurants close at 9 p.m. And it's 10 p.m. now when I'm recording this. So it would be closed. And then with the logo and a little picture of the restaurant's like interior, and then I pulled this image from Duke's version of like Apple Maps, and then same restaurant info as from the main page, but then this time I also pulled the menu of the restaurant in alphabetical order, as well as the reviews sorted and based on the most recent reviews. And then if I go back to restaurants, I'll show Craft House typically closes at midnight. So as you can see here, I have a note that is currently open, and this is what the page looks like.
I'm going to be talking about the food items or menu items capabilities of our website. So to start, I'm going to go through the functionalities that we have from a guest user perspective. So as you can see, I'm not logged in, but if I go ahead and click here to see the menu items, it'll bring up this page. As you can see, every menu item is listed with price, protein, sugars, fats, allergens, calories, the restaurant that offers that menu item, and dietary restrictions that it fulfills. So I'm able to sort by price, low to high, as you can see, and we can scroll through a little bit here, and also price from high to low. You can also search by name of the food item. So I can go ahead and search wasabi, and you see items that contain wasabi in their name. I can also search by halal, for example, to get food items that fit the dietary restriction I'm looking for, or I can search skillet, for example, and get food items specifically for one restaurant.
So this is a demo of the completed reviews page when browsing as a guest. So this is the homepage for reviews, and by default it shows all the reviews in the database sorted by date from most recent to oldest. So as a guest, you are able to sort, filter, and search all the reviews. So for example, if I wanted to just get all of the reviews for Tandoor, I can do that. Or if I wanted to just sort reviews for all restaurants by rating from highest to lowest, I can also do that. Or if I wanted to do both and get all the reviews for ginger and soy sorted by rating from lowest to highest, I can do that too. In addition to filtering and sorting, you can also search reviews by keyword. So for example, if I wanted to see all the reviews with that mentioned soup, I can do that. And if you search a word that doesn't come up in any of the reviews, it will tell you that no reviews are found. And something that you'll notice is that with every new sort, filter, and search results, it shows the total number of reviews as well as the average rating. So for example, if I wanted to know what the average rating of El Forno was, I can see that there have been 55 reviews with an average rating of 3.2. And if I try to leave a new review, it won't let you unless you log in.
As an unregistered guest in the recommendations tab, you are mainly allowed to search for different recommendations that other users have posted. So the first way you can do this is through the search bar. So this will match on titles. So if I search skillet, I can see that all of these returned results have skillet in the title, but it also matches on the descriptions as well. So if I search trick, I can actually see that it found a result where the description was trick, but the title did not have trick in it. Next, I can sort by a bunch of different attributes and orderings. So if I wanted to sort by title ascending, so just in alphabetical order, I can do that. I can see that all of these things are now in alphabetical order. Lastly, I can search by different tags. So in this context, that would be different meals. So if I wanted to eat something for breakfast, I can pull up the breakfast recommendations. I can do the same for lunch, dinner, and snack. Now, each one of these actually is a link to the actual recommendation itself. So if I click on it, I can see a lot more information about that specific recommendation. I can see who created it, when it was posted, how many upvotes it's received. I can see the longer description. I can see any tags that have been attached to it. And I can also see all the foods inside of this recommendation. So here it's just nicely summarized. I can see every food, and then there's a meal summary that kind of integrates all these different metrics for calories, proteins, sugars, and fats. And then I can also see any photos that have been attached with this recommendation as well. Finally, as a bonus feature, any guest that visits this part of the website gets to read the sort of ticker message, which will broadcast some information about the most popular foods that are being included in these recommendations. This is managed through two views. So one of them will track the number of times that a food is attached to a recommendation, and another one will tally up the total popularity of the food across all of its recommendations, and then it'll just randomly generate a message that'll tell you a food's rank in either category.
Next, let's take a look at the comparisons page. Here, users can compare two food items across different categories and look at different data metrics about food items at Duke. First, let's compare margarita pizza to spaghetti bolognese and click calories as our comparison criteria. We can click most as the comparison type and click compare. We can see that the food with the most calories is spaghetti bolognese. I'm also not limited to just choosing one category at a time. If I was interested in price and protein, I can hold the command key down and click those two categories to compare across both. Now we can see that the food with the most price and protein is margarita pizza. Furthermore, if I'm interested in looking at something like calories per dollar, I can input my two food items and then go to the ratios tab and click calories per, in this case, price, and click compare. Now we can see that the food with the most calories per price is spaghetti bolognese. And also there's protections against putting in a food item that doesn't actually exist within the database. If I put two random words in and try to compare, we'll get a message that says, sorry, we couldn't find any food items with those names. Next, the next feature a user can look at is the top 5 most frequently compared selections. Here we can see that spaghetti bolognese and margarita pizza have been compared 39 times in this session, which is the most. This would be interesting to users because they'll know what's popular and what people are comparing at Duke. Furthermore, this immediately updates. So if I did something like try to compare chicken parmesan and chicken masala right now and then do a comparison, we can see it's at 13 right now, but if I hit compare, it'll jump up to 14. The last thing about this is that it doesn't actually matter which order you compare the two food items. We ensure that food item 1 is always greater than food item 2 according to string compare. That way there's not two rows for technically the same comparison. The last feature on this comparisons page is the ability to generate scatter plots. Say I wanted to look at something like price and protein, or protein and price at Duke. I can click generate scatter plot and see this trend where foods that are higher in protein are typically more expensive at Duke. Furthermore, it isn't limited to just these categories. I can look at something like sugar and price and see that foods that are high in sugar are relatively cheap. These scatter plots are generated live in the sense that
they look at the data that's currently in the tables right now.
Let's log into an existing user account and see what information comes up and how to edit it. So logging into the traditional test case of ice cream tastes good and test 123 is the password, we get brought to this page. So you can see in the top right corner, it says hello, Jelly. And if we scroll down, we can edit our user account information, as well as see any published recommendations by this user and any published reviews. Let's go ahead and edit the account information. So here we have the opportunity to edit the first name, last name, email, and password of the current user. Just for the purposes of this demonstration, so we can see it easily, let's change the first name from Joey to Josh. So then all these can still be blank, and we hit edit. And we get refreshed with our edited account information. As you can see in the top right corner here, it changed the name from Joey to Josh. All of the other information is still the same, so all of our public recommendations are still here and our published reviews. Let's edit a restaurant from an admin account. So we're going to look at the restaurant Gotaku right here. So right now we can see that its current floor is 1. It opens at 1100 hours. It closes at 2100 hours, and it currently has mobile order. Let's log in as this restaurant's admin, which is Richard56@yahoo.com. with the established password. We sign in. As now you can see when we log in, we have the option to edit the restaurant information. So we can go in and edit the restaurant information. Let's change the floor to 3. Let's say it no longer has mobile order, and the opening time is going to be 9:35 a.m. and it's going to close at 8:46 p.m. Then we hit edit, and we're brought straight to the restaurant page where we can see our new.
So then moving into an admin perspective, I'm going to go ahead and log in. So I'll log in as Richard here. And then once I'm here, we have this update menu button that pops up that was not there without that login. Here I can go ahead and click add menu item. We can go ahead and just do test. We'll put in some dummy data. And then how this works is that when I click submit, it's going to automatically pull the restaurant ID associated with my account as a restaurant admin, and then it's going to add this information to the database. So I'm going to go ahead and click submit, and it takes us to the menu item page. Now if I click test, you can see that it's been added here, and the restaurant that Daniel is associated with is Gyutaku, so that's why that pops up there. Now if I go home, I can go ahead and delete menu item, and here I only have to enter the name, and again it's going to automatically pull the restaurant ID associated with me as a user to check if I'm actually able to delete this. So we'll go ahead and click submit. Here you can see if I test, it is gone. However, if we go ahead and try that again with, for example, wasabi, which was associated with a different restaurant, and click submit, and then if I try and find it on the menu items, it's still there because that's under skillet, not Gyutaku, so I don't have the capabilities to delete that restaurant. So with that, that's the food items section of the website, and I'll pass it on to the next person.
Hi, so this is a demo of the reviews page when I am logged in. So there's still the same functionality as when browsing as a guest. You can still sort, filter, and search all of the reviews, but now I'm also able to add a new review. So there are data validators on this form. So if, for example, I wanted to leave a review for Farmstead, and I'll give it a rating of 5, but I don't leave a description, it won't let me click submit because a description is required. So I can say that the turkey sandwich is really good, and I choose to not leave it anonymously. And now if I click submit, you can see that the review is created. And since I didn't do it anonymously, my name is displayed. So when logged in, if you go to your user homepage, you can see a history of all the reviews that you have published. And from here, you can delete and update the reviews that you've written. So if I click update, it brings to a very similar form as before. They have the same data validator. So if I try to delete the description and then update it, it'll give me the same error. So I can change the rating to 4, and now I want to leave it anonymously. So I can click submit. You can see the rating is now 4, and if I go to the reviews page, you can see that it is now left as an anonymous reviewer. Additionally, you're only able to update reviews that you've written. So if I try to go to the URL to update review number 810, since I didn't write the review, it tells you that you cannot access this page. And finally, if I want to delete the review entirely, I can click this delete button. And now it says I have not published any reviews, and the review is also deleted from the database.
As an authenticated user in the recommendations tab, we can do everything that a guest can do, plus we'll be able to add recommendations, update or delete them, and we can upvote other recommendations as well. So the first thing you'll be able to see is that we're logged in now, and if I click See Mine, this is a new button, we'll be able to see all of the recommendations under this user. If I wanted to add a new one, I just click Add New. Maybe we tried gelato at cafe, and we can enter a description, we can attach a photo, and maybe we just have the lunch and snack tags. And then to select related foods, we can just scroll down in this list, select the item that we want. This one should just have gelato, but we can also add some other ones just for demo purposes. And then we click Register. And what this should do is enter it into our database. To confirm this, we can go back to our own recommendations if we can see that this recommendation is now in there. If I wanted to add something else, I can actually click Edit, and then I can make however many edits I want. I can change the title and the description. I can even upload a new photo. I can add another tag, maybe another item, and once we click Register, we can see that all these changes have gone through. If I really didn't like this recommendation and I just want to scrap it, I can just press Delete, and then it's gone from our database. You can see that it's gone because it's not in our files, and it's also not going to show up when we search for it. Now, moving on, we can also upvote other users. So maybe I tried this one, I went to this recommendation, I tried the food and I really liked it. All I had to do is click I like this, and we can see that the popularity increased from 92 to 93. Now, if we go back and look at it from the outside, we can see that this change is also present on the outside because this has now moved up to the top of the list. Lastly, I just wanted to quickly cover SQL injection attacks. So we guard against these by specifically escaping any strings that we receive from the users. So you can see that in our search functionality here in the search by keyword, we're using app.db.execute with these inputs here just to make sure that we're properly escaping strings. You can see a similar behavior here in register and update as well. There is one specific instance where we use kind of like a safe way of string interpolation in our get all function for sorting. So this is safe because the users can only specify a set number of values here when they want to sort by something. And then we have another layer of checking in this dictionary, and basically if we ever receive any input that is not recognized, it will just default to a predefined behavior, which is just sorting by a specific default value instead. So just to round out this discussion, we can try to delete the recommendations table with a SQL injection attack. So basically I'm going to try to end this query early and then try to drop table recommendations. When I hit search, nothing's going to come up because nothing ever would match this title. But if we just refresh the page, we can see that our recommendation table is still here. We can see everything as usual.